What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today in this Bardcast, well, you guys know what the title says. We're just going to go and get into it. But first, what's the jewel price, dogs? You guys got any on that?
Oh man, I don't actually know. Hold on, let me go check.
Dude, it's a rhetorical question. It's called nuts and ham.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm messing with you. Yeah, it's like 20 something. I don't know. Whatever it
It's
is.
$21, like even. It's $21 even.
$21. All right, guys. We got to get into this first question because it's going to be a long chat. Crystal news. Let's go. All right, guys. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know if it's bullish. I just don't know anymore.
Oh, geez.
It's probably nothing.
It's probably nothing.
Yeah, it's probably nothing. I agree. Anyone else got thoughts?
No, that was it. Everyone agrees.
Honestly, I'm stoked about it. Like everyone, we've announced. It was announced for a while, and then everyone kept asking on Twitter, like, "What about the airdrop? What about the airdrop? What do we got to do? What do we got to do?" And it's always been like, "Yeah, just wait. They're gonna announce. And they finally did. So, people can start planning. People can start putting themselves in the best position. I think it's awesome. I was surprised by the amount too. I think it was more total crystal than I thought was going to be airdropped. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Obviously, I think that last week I kind of dodged your question a little bit, Drake, on some of the plans for Avalanche and other chains. So I'm very happy that they finally came out with that, and I could be like, oh yay, airdrops are bullish. These different things are bullish. Also, I want to give a shout out to Reach Your Mind over there with the hashtag of money isn't real, which I love it. I love it so much. I say that all the time. Money isn't real, because it's not. It does not. It does not matter. Nothing on this page, be it USD or USDC or UST or Bitcoin or Ethereum. Money means nothing, and people mean everything. So
This guy gets it. Now, I always tell people this. Well, actually, there's two things. The first thing is money is a measurement tool. It is a way you keep score. That is it. You look at life like a game, and money is your measurement tool. The guy who's got more money has more points, but does that mean anything in the game? Like you can, like the game of life. Like we're gonna keep it in the game example. Like in RuneScape, dude, I remember I was a level 3 noob and I was having the time of my life with a wooden shield and a wooden sword. While that other guy was like with a Santa hat going nuts and ham. But now let's bring it into real life. Look at a hobo just begging on the street, or even like someone just, or a hobo who just gets a rotisserie chicken. That man is as happy as like the guy who gets a boat for the first time in his life, or the first time he buys a house. Everything is just how you treat it. So that's what I look at it. And
I mean,
go ahead.
I've been a lot closer to one of those edges at one point in my life, and then I've been closer to another edge at this point in my life, and it's just I don't think that I've ever derived any more enjoyment out of anything to do with just the number on the paper. The only thing that the money has really done is just removed certain stressors and then replaced it with different stressors. And I just don't think that it matters. I think that the important thing is to choose what to do with the money, and like what to do with yourself, and just like as long as you're always developing, you're always kind of like pushing forward and reaching towards something. I think that that's really the end goal overall, is to just kind of move forward with your own passions, with your own everything. So that's my box for the night. That's the whole thing. That's the whole Dove bar.
I like it. Pyth, got anything?
I mean, no thoughts really. I mean, I agree more or less with a lot of things people have been saying, so nothing new to add.
All right, 10-4. Hans, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, the the money is a useful tool for quantifying things. I think in the last Bardcast I talked about some behavioral patterns of institutional allocators that we might observe on or around the first of the year, and it seems like that played out. And I think that just really reinforces that this game has really broad appeal, especially from institutions and VCs and whales and all that stuff. Because they're people too, and they like to play the game, and so I think it's encouraging. I like to see that. So, but yeah, I definitely don't get caught up in the daily movements of the price because it's crypto and everything's volatile. And I mean, there's a lot of things you can invest in, but doing something like DFK for me, it's something I really enjoy doing and something I'm really in for the long term. So there's like not a price this coin could go to today, and I would sell. So I don't know. Keep it long term is my way of thinking.
All right, guys, you heard it now. Infinite exit liquidity with Hans. Good stuff. All right, so guys, now we got our thoughts. What are some strategies? Okay, we got thoughts, but we got to figure out some strats on this. I made a video explaining like the breakdowns of where the crystal is going to be airdropped, like the amount in the bank, the amount to the heroes, the amount on Avalanche Chain, and I want to add that to my video. I want to make an edit on there. I did mention it was only on the pangolin liquidity, and I made a mistake. It is actually the jewel portion in your pangolin liquidity and any jewel you have on the Avalanche chain. So I want to make sure everyone is aware of that so you guys can understand that it is not the total liquidity that you have inside that pool. It doesn't take part of the Avalanche pair. So while Avalanche is completely and utterly tanking and your jewel is just going to the moon, you're going to get wrecked with impermanent loss, not financial advice. So what are some strategies you guys have and thoughts of what are the best strategies? Just kind of going over the numbers real quick.
I want to talk about impermanent loss, Drake. I want to talk with you about impermanent loss. All right? Getting wrecked by impermanent loss whenever you're dealing with emissions as what we have even still to this day with DFK. How wrecked do you think we could be with impermanent loss? What's your estimate?
Well, I'm okay with the impermanent loss. Well, I was okay with the impermanent loss. I'm still a bit okay with it on the Harmony 1 side because it's still paying out really well. But if you calculate this on Avalanche, they're paying you like 40% or 45%, and that's in Pangolin. And Pangolin is a dumper coin. I mean, Jewel, some people think it's a dumper coin, but it doesn't have the same characteristics of the dumper coins. It actually has a chart that you look at it as a dumper coin, but it's flipped upside down. It's kind of odd. So instead of constantly going down, it's actually constantly going up. And it's kind of a game coin and it has a use case. Eventually,
I'd avoid, and I have to avoid this because my position or whatever. But I would avoid calling any other sort of like swap coin or whatever, like a farm and dump coin or anything like that. However, I understand what you mean by a coin or a token having no utility outside of farming or outside of like a representation of like a store of value locked within a protocol, for example. I do like Pangolin. I think they're good people over there. Leo Chen from Pangolin is now doing some other projects that I think that people are going to be really excited to hear about once those fully go live. I have probably some alpha regarding that, but I can't really share too much on that. But Leo's doing some big things. So I would say that there's some quality people over there. I got to meet most of them over at Miami, and I stole a shirt from their table, and I think they're great. However, yeah, I can see what you mean. Whenever you have the Avalanche side, it's not paying out the insane sort of APRs as the DeFi Kingdoms Harmony side. It's going to be a better opportunity for you to like escape the IL whenever you have like 1,000% coming in or 400%, 500%. You got like 1% a day. And yes, I hear penguin every single time that someone says pangolin as well. Louis, I 100% agree with you. But anyway, I think that if you're worried about IL on a DFK farm, you're probably looking at the wrong thing. I just looked at my IL for Jewel/1 ever since I've been in it, and my IL is at like 21%. But then if you look at how much my Jewel one pool has produced over time, I don't care. Basically.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, and I want to reiterate, I'm not saying Pangolin is a bad project. All I'm saying is like the coin, it just doesn't have a use case yet. Maybe maybe they will have one, but like for me personally, if you're trying to accumulate a big bag of Avalanche, so far what the history is showing is that Jewel and Avalanche pool is a good way to do it. Maybe not getting Jewel. I mean, it may be good for getting more Avalanche, but you just have to factor in if you're getting a 40% APR and the rewards, well, the 40% APR is your rewards. If Jewel is going up by more than 40%, you're getting wrecked, like bad. So that is just something to keep in mind if you guys are curious about impermanent loss. And you can just look at it like this. If you're providing liquidity today, if your Jewel price goes to $31, $32, you're already like missing out. Like you would have been better just holding and forget the rewards. So that's how you can kind of factor that in. That's why I'm kind of bullish on, not bullish, but I'm okay with the Harmony 1 pools, is because I'm earning that APR and I have a army of gardeners that are just constantly farming and getting me tokens out of it. So that is something that some people don't even factor in, but it's just basically giving me bonus Jewel. And that's where it differentiates from Avalanche as well, because you're earning Jewel and you're not earning the Pangolin token. Sure, you can swap the Pangolin token for Jewel, but it's kind of annoying. And then you have the gas fees on Avalanche every time making that swap. So depending on how big your bag is. But yeah, my bad. Just wanted to finish that part. Go ahead, Flu.
I'm getting some requests in here about they want us to play the game as we talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to go through some quests. Is there any way to limit the screen so I'm not like flexing lock balance sort of stuff, or is it just it is what it is?
Are you running 2 monitors, Flu?
No. I could be.
I
but-
was running into this with Restream. I couldn't figure out a way to limit it, but by using 2 monitors, you could just share the second monitor and just drag the locked balance and whatnot off the screen. But
I'll put your screen, the main screen, Flu. So here you're the main guy now, but you can share whatever you
even
want.
if Flu, even if you just have one screen, if you just drag the left, just drag it to the left side, and then that way no one can see your balance.
Yeah,
we don't want to dox you for being such a mega whale over here.
Or better yet, you
can
do.
You're much
you
more of a
can-
whale than me, but that's all right.
Hey, Flu, try doing this. Open up a Zoom cast, like a little square, and minimize it and put it right over your balance, and then pin the screencast to the top, and then screen record. So like do Zoom, and then pin that video Zoom over the top and hover it right over your face. Not your face, but like you know what I'm talking about, your avatar, where the money is at.
Yeah.
But Hans probably kind of hit it on the head if you just slide your screen. I mean, you'll miss some on the map, but I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, apologies. I could probably help out with that, but right before this meeting started, my home internet went to crap, so I'm just joining on my cell phone. But maybe in the next one or at some point, I can stream for you guys.
10-4, 10-4.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on this. Y'all can talk.
Yeah. So the question was posed earlier about strategies and how to play this crystal stuff, and I think we've talked about this briefly before, but I like that this game doesn't give 100% simple, straightforward strategy, and you just go there and do that, and that's the end of the game. I like that it's kind of complex. We saw some people theory crafting on Twitter about jewel drops. I saw some guy post that Jewel would need to hit like $300, or excuse me, Crystal would need to hit $300 for investing in the bank to get you more Crystal in USD terms than investing in the gardens. And there's a lot of assumptions in there, and I haven't double checked the math, but looking at the amount going into the bank, it's twice as much as going into the LP pools, and the gardens right now have twice as much money locked in them as the bank. So you're essentially getting 4 times more being in the bank. But that being said, with the current emission rate, last time I checked, and this may have been a week or two ago, but I mean, guys, if you're in the garden, the rate of emissions, I mean, even accounting for the drop in emissions over the next 90 days. If the prices did nothing and just set flat, you can literally double your money in 90 days just mathematically by being in those pools. Now, that is a condition where prices stay the same. And of course, they don't stay the same. They could go up, they could go down, they could go sideways. But, in the event that price action is boring, the gardens are, pretty compelling with the straightforward math. But anyways, to just get to my strategy, I mean, I honestly am not 100% sure what the best strategy is. So what I've decided to do is just spread it out. I have some heroes. I have money in the bank. I have money in the pools. And, I mean, I'm going to catch a little bit here and a little bit there. I don't do that much summoning. I do a little bit of summoning. But, my strategy for capturing crystal is essentially just to say, look, I'm going to be in the bank because, hey, you got a chance to win the drops. So we got a chance to win an amulet. And we're going to get the best rewards in crystal there. But I'm also in the LPs because in the event that we chop sideways, I also want to get those rewards. I don't mind being locked up. I don't care. Cool with being in this project long term. And then also the heroes, we're going to be getting crystal dropped on them too, and raffle tickets and stuff. So I can't promise you that that's the optimal strategy, but that's what I'm doing. I think if you're first getting into this game and you're just learning about it, maybe just start with the bank and then try out a liquidity pool. If you're just getting into the game, maybe even don't buy a hero on the first day. Maybe kind of learn about it, because buying a hero can be tricky, as Pith and Sammy and you guys know. I've been talking for a while now, so I'll pass the mic. But yeah, you got to do a little more research buying a hero than just putting in the bank or even in the gardens. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll add a little bit on that too. So I wrote an article kind of breaking down each of the 5 different airdrop raffles that they've got going on. And I would echo what you say, that I love that there's so many different strategies, and there's not a meta. I don't feel like everyone's going to have different risk appetites. Everyone's going to have different things that they value. And while there may be some arbitrage in terms of which of these are getting more crystal allocation and how many people are participating in that. So there's some math. You have love that you
Turn on
can.
that music. Turn on that music so Sam can finish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
So I'm kind of following the same boat as Hans. I'm not really making any drastic changes to how I was holding and playing the game before the airdrop announcements. I'm keeping all my money in the gardens that I had there previously. I think the one thing that I am changing is what I am claiming from the gardens, I'm just stashing into the bank for now. Whereas I was, doing various other things with it before, recompounding, summoning, etc. And so, I think everyone's going to have to assess what is their risk appetite. There's a lot of, and everything you got to think the bank's going to get diluted. The crystal that you get will get diluted as more and more people jump in it. One thing that won't get diluted is the hero crystal drops. So it doesn't matter how many people have mythic heroes, you're always going to get 16 crystal for a mythic hero. Yes, I get it. Not everyone's gonna be able to buy a mythic hero, but you have these dilutive effects that are going to take place with the bank, bridge jewel, and garden allocations, but won't happen with the hero allocations. The hero is one single snapshot, whereas the other ones are average snapshots. So a lot of things you got to weigh.
I agree with you 100% on that. Pyth, go ahead and give your thoughts, and then I'll try to keep mine brief.
I mean, just like everyone else, I'm not changing too much. Just going as I go right now. Don't have any real changes towards how I'm approaching it. And honestly, I think the best thing for anyone that doesn't have that much info is just reading the articles put out by Samich and many other people creating really great articles about DFK, and just preparing in advance for what'll work best for you and your current investment size and what you have.
Yeah, I'm not really changing much either. To be honest, I have some in the bank, and I have some in the LPs. And I'm pretty happy with my allocation, and I'm not going to change that just because of an airdrop, because it's not going to be game breaking one way or the other. and I'm also not going to be doing much in order to change kind of like my strategy in any other way. The one thing that I would say is that I intend on summoning a few heroes before the end, because summoning is enough of a, I'm not going to say a whale game at this point, but it is kind of resource intensive. And I would say that being able to be in that position to be able to summon is a fortunate one. And yeah, I looked up how much I spent on DFK tracker, and my fiance wants a divorce, and we're not even married yet. So um, I would say that like maybe that is like a really strong way of doing it, because you have the chance at those like shiny Gen Zeros from Crystal Vale. And I have the same chances as anyone else on that, so I kind of have to push for that. So it's not like the original Gen Zero launch on Harmony, where like staff got free ones or whatever. No one's getting anything for free. So I'm having to kind of play the game with the rest of everyone else at this point. So
Yeah, so my thoughts are similar. I'm doing, for the most part, the same. But TLDR on the pools, depending on Avalanche, depending on how many people bridge over, it could be a better incentive to A, summon and hope, or B, going on the Avalanche chain. But keep in mind, you aren't going to be getting any rewards. And the reason why I say it's a risk with Avalanche is because if no one bridges over, the people that do have funds over there, they're going to get a bunch of crystal. But the reverse is true, because some people are like, no one's going to bridge, so I'm going to bridge. It's like a give and take. But me personally, I don't want to speculate with that, so I'm not going to the Avalanche side. Some others may, and they may want to take the time to do that. Go for it. Not financial advice. But me personally, I think it is a pretty good idea to summon. And let me explain my points why. The first is snapshots. Each time you summon, you actually get a chance for getting one of these Gen Zero heroes. There's going to be 10 different winners in that. And a lot of people are going to be hesitant to actually do the summoning because it's going to be more expensive. And yes, I agree, it's more expensive in dollar value, but it's actually going down in dual price. Now, usually people say buy high, sell low. Now, if you're just hodling a higher jewel price, yes, it could keep going up. But typically when something goes up, there's the opposite side where, well, when's it going to come down? And I like to fluctuate with using lower price heroes as a good opportunity, especially if you get A, 10 or free snapshots for getting into the or getting some of the crystal. B is, well, it's cheaper to rent because now no one's renting. Now you can rent them out cheaper, especially if you have a Gen Zero hero. Then it's really a no-brainer to summon, because all you have to do is summon uncommon plus, and then you can sell that uncommon if you want to and get a profit or get profit on it, and you still have that snapshot for the crystal. So that is something important to keep in mind. But if you are actually, no, you can even summon a common with a Gen Zero hero, and it depends if you find like a cheap enough rental, but it's all about crunching the numbers. But I mean, common is going to be like your worst case scenario. You can get a uncommon, you can get a legendary, you can get a mythic, or even a rare. And remember, these are all getting crystal themselves. So say you randomly summon a legendary. Like I summoned a legendary for the first time finally 2 days ago. If I was just like, nah, bruh, no more summons for me, I would have missed out on 8 crystal and a snapshot into possibly getting a mythic, or not a mythic, but getting a Gen Zero on Crystal Vale. So I was kind of like, great, awesome. Now, the last point I want to make, I kind of already explained it, but hopefully getting a rare plus. Getting a rare plus is going to be able to get your risk reward like that, because you can sell the junk. Like, okay, it's not junk, but still, you can sell a rare plus card for 140 jewel. Now, I know you're saying like, whoa, and this is Gen 1, by the way. A Gen 2, maybe like 90 jewel. But still, it would have been a profit, because you would have, if it's a 10 out of 10, you would have summoned at 32 jewel, and then 36, 40, 44, because it goes up by 4 every summon. And this isn't even factoring in getting advanced classes. So it actually does play in your favor, because risk reward, if you do it enough times, eventually you may get that mythic or legendary. So right now it's kind of worth it. And it's free snapshots. I mean, you can't go wrong with these snapshots. So I'll sum it with this. I'll break it down. You get snapshots for summoning. The hero you summon also gets you bonus crystal. And on top of that, if you summon a good enough one, you can sell it, get more jewel, and repeat the process. Just my thoughts.
So I will say that, like, your thing about risk reward is a really good point, and I actually have up on my screen like an example of this from last night, where I did I did a summon between 2 of my Gen Zeros, and I got this. So I summoned with my legendary monk and my rare pirate. I'm sorry?
So let's go. You got a ninja, dude.
Yeah, so like that ninja, I really like this ninja, right? It's not like wonderful in terms of stats or anything, but I like the look of it. It's got the funky horns here that I think mix into something else, and then it's got lion tail, which is it's whatever. But I was actually going for a specific thing by doing the lion tail and the cat tail, but that's all right. Um, but last night, the ones that I was summoning were literally all like I was really focused on aesthetics and not like not like advanced classes or anything. So it was kind of like a fun night for summoning. I spent like, I don't know, I spent like 300 jewel or something. And as far as like risk reward, I consider it to be worth it, because like I could come up with an advanced class like that, and that advanced class kind of like made my whole night. And I know that the floor for ninjas is not that high, but the floor for like a full summon ninja Gen 1 is pretty good. And like you have to take everything into account. Like having a 5 summon ninja as a Gen 1 is pretty good. So anyway, that's so I don't know if you guys have also been paying attention, but if anyone is paying attention to what I'm doing on the questing here, the way that I deal with having so many heroes, if anyone is in the audience that has a bunch of heroes does not know this, you can go in and you can like select them all, and you can start the transaction but not actually approve the transaction yet. So you can go in, you can select 6 heroes, you can continue.
Oh yeah, that's gangbusters. It's stacking. I call it stacking.
Yeah, and you're just stacking the transactions. But as you guys can see in here with like my level 2s, and I only have like 2 level 3s, like I am so far behind on leveling for most
Wait,
people.
before you click that MetaMask button, your pop-up didn't show up. But I was gonna say, change the gas to like 1 or 2. You can like save 10 extra gas, or like 5x depending on what you do. But I know it doesn't sound like much, but when you're doing a bunch of quests, it eventually adds up. Like
thing is,
instead of
though,
paying
gas on harmony is already so cheap for most people that have, that are coming from other chains, etc. Especially if you do stuff on ETH. Most people just can't be bothered. But of course, if it factors into some of your profit calculations, whatever, when you're doing that, of course, that's a good thing to know. But I do think they're increasing
they're increasing
the minimum thing
way
in a few days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy who goes to McDonald's just to get a free cheeseburger. I say, can I get a hamburger with cheese on the side? They actually price it down as a hamburger. I'm messing. This was like 10 years ago, but still. Oh, I do want to add this to the point. I also forgot to mention this on the heroes. First is you need leveled heroes for land. So if you aren't summoning, you aren't getting those leveled heroes. Second, when you're getting those heroes, say you get a miner or a gardener, that's actually additional APR to get more jewel. Third, also, don't forget about what Fox said about the future airdrops for having a hero. Just looking at that, summoning could be worth it.
Yeah,
I
one
will just
thing.
say. Oh,
Oh,
go
good.
ahead, Hans.
No, you go ahead.
This will be a quick note. I would just say, like, everyone, make sure you understand how generations and summons remaining impact your summons, because that impacts the resale value drastically of heroes to the extent you were, hoping to summon, hit something nice and resell it. So there's a lot of articles out there about it, but for new people coming in and maybe seeing like a Gen 4 or Gen 5 with a couple summons left on it, and then buying it thinking like, oh, this will be great, I'll summon with this. You have to keep in mind that every generation you go up, the cost of Jewel, the base initial cost of Jewel to summon with that goes up by 10 as well. So it gets really, really expensive after Gen 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yep,
+1 to
good
that.
point. And then, of course, there's a rabbit hole there with, how many summons do you have left? And that actually propagates on when you breed, which I didn't realize at first. But one thing I've been curious about is to see whether these Gen 1s with full summons start going up in price, because, as you mentioned, every summon you get that chance to win more crystal. And so it'll be interesting to see if those start getting scooped up in the market. Something I've been keeping an eye on.
Yeah, because the Gen 2, Gen 1, I probably shouldn't, but I call them Gen 1 virgins in my friend circle group. But
Full
two of
summon.
those, you can summon those two together for a total of 32 Jewel, which is
Yep.
much cheaper than people are summoning with their Gen 0s right now.
Yep. And like the thing that like a lot of people don't understand is that whenever I'm looking at summoning, 99% of the time I'm not looking at summoning with my own heroes. I'm looking at hiring for half, because I can get people's heroes with much less summons than what I have for even cheaper than most of my stuff. So like I was playing this game really, really early with the Gen 0 hiring, and I would never actually use my own Gen 0s because there were so many Gen 0s out there that hardly had any summons on them. So like I was still using like the first 10 summons for like a Gen 0 for the longest time. And it was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I've learned so much in this game by wasting so much money, and I just call it's the cost of tuition.
Yeah, it's a learning experience. It's exactly what it is.
Well, I wouldn't say lost money. I would say lost opportunity costs would probably be a better word for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone else got thoughts on that? Or you want to slide to the next one? I know that one kind of took a bit of time. Let's slide. All right. Well, first, dude, Flu, you got like 200 heroes, man. I had to mention that. Mining quests. Dude, we got those coming on Wednesday. I'm not thinking it's going to be bearish on the jewel price, but kind of interested to see what these rewards are going to be, because Flu made, or not Flu, Frisky made a comment. He was like, yeah, we were running the calculations, and I was thinking he was going to be like, yeah, it's going to be horrible, and he was like, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I was like, huh. Well, they didn't say I would be pleasantly surprised about gardening, and I was actually extremely surprised about gardening. So I kind of am curious what the jewel rewards are going to be on these mining quests.
Yeah, I know that Frisky at one point had said 5 jewel a day if you meet the cutoff, which like there's like a cutoff essentially, or at least back then. Once again, this is all speculation, not financial advice, blah blah blah. But there's a cutoff of like you have to have it meet at least this much lock jewel to get the max amount, but like it's going to scale in association with like how much lock jewel you have. So or in correlation with it. And so like I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how much jewel I can get out a day. But what's funny is that I don't actually intend on like really cashing it out that strongly. I intend on summoning. So I'm, and this is what I've been talking about with a lot of people lately, from other projects, is that they're like, oh well, aren't you worried that the whales, whenever they start unlocking, are going to just dump? Like, look at the people who have like 300,000 lock jewel, 500,000 lock jewel. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna play the game. They're gonna take some profits because they're human. I'm human. I've sold all the way up. I have to live. I have to pay bills. I'm buying a house. I sold 2 Gen Zeros to pay for a house payment, right? That's kind of a famous example of that. I mean, never not take profits. Taking profits allows you to be less emotional about the remainder of your investment. It's a good habit to get into, and it's a strong like it's why we all get into crypto in the first place. That being said, I am very, very excited to always have the potential to make and earn money in this game in a fun way. So, am I ever going to completely exit? No, never going to happen. Never ever going to happen. I want to be around. I want to qualify for airdrops. I want to maximize my earning potential in game, and I want to maximize my fun potential for having, you know, a large hero collection that I can flex on a YouTube video with my friends. I mean, like, just if we're just gonna pull something out of midair, you know what I mean? Like, it's silly. It's the silly little game that, and it's such a rebellious, like, stupid act of someone to be like, oh, look at me now, mom, I'm making money playing video games. But that's exactly what it is, and that's what it is for me sometimes. And like I look back at all of my family members that are like, oh, you're never gonna make it, staying obsessed with all those video games and stuff, and I'm like, look, ma, I made it, you know. So that's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just childish in that way, but
You
I'd
know, it's
rather.
funny, Flu. I was on a call earlier today. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should say this. Oh well.
Just anonymize
I,
it if you need to.
I got pulled into this call, and in the hedge fund business, we have a lot of, like, auditors, and like there's all this stuff you have to do to be compliant and be, like a legal beagle essentially. Sammy probably knows the run, but
Let's go.
we have some money in this game, and so I'm like explaining to this auditor like how a bloater fish works. I just I had this moment where it's like, oh my god,
Oh, man.
it was just funny.
Yeah, it's like, so this is the most expensive thing in the game. It's called a bloater fish. Oh, here you go,
Accumulate
guys.
as much as you can.
Yeah. This dude's over here side shilling our bloater bags, guys. This is the real hero today.
Let's go. Oh,
This
man.
is the real hero.
Sandwich, you got anything on that? On mining quests?
Yeah, I think I'm not. I'm just gonna I'm trying not to speculate on it. Flu was, I went back and looked at everything I'd compiled from what Hubert had said, and it looks like what he said I mean, this was back in October, was that if you met the minimum threshold of lock jewel, you would start unlocking about 5 joule a day and about 8 if you had the mining gene. So that I don't think is on the table at all anymore. I think profession genes have been completely reworked since then. So honestly, I have no idea what to expect, but I think it would be like someone who has a very large LP position. If you kind of compare that to a very large locked balance position, relatively speaking, I'd imagine that you end up pulling about the same per day, but I mean, who knows?
Huh.
Yeah, that's going to create an interesting dynamic with miners, because now you have miners that, the more effective they are, the more gold they can get. You got a better chance of getting Shavas runes and all that stuff. But then you've got like this elite miner, because you can only put one in the mine at a time, right? And so I've been watching the tavern on this, and just, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with those high-end miners. Because if you're a whale and you really think about that, you're like, okay, I want to max the amount that I can lock, because, I can reinvest, I can, just free up capital. And so I think those top tier miners are going to really fetch a super duper premium in a different way. I mean, it's kind of similar to the gardens, I guess, but there's not that one special slot with gardening. Maybe if you're only in one pool and like all your funds are in one pool, now it matters a lot if you have the best gardener, because you're getting more rewards, and if you're a whale, it matters even more. So yeah, I do like that they're creating some differentiation among the professions in that way. Whereas, with foraging, it's like, a really good forager is like only slightly better than like a moderately good forager. But, a really good miner you can put into the jewel unlock, and that's a new feature. So I'm watching this with curiosity.
I like it.
Yeah, and
Right.
also to those of you who have commented on this, I can't hide my locked jewel. I'm sorry, it will not let me share my whole screen so that I can just like reposition the tab. I apologize. Also, I don't care. All right, love y'all.
I'll add one quick item on this thought of like elite miners, because it's a really good point. Everyone's going to be able to send multiple miners into the gold mines, but full uptime on the locked jewel mine, you could effectively run with just 3 miners. So if you look at my whale watch reports, I have the top 15 X jewel wallets and their LP positions, and there are, let's see, just on that top 15 list, there's three whales who have locked jewel value, but no heroes. They hold 0 heroes. So, I mean, what do you think they're going to do? And I bet they're not the only ones. I bet there's quite a few people who are in the LP and are just not playing this game at all. And when the opportunity comes for them to open up and start tapping into some of that locked jewel early, I think it opens up some opportunities for people who might have really great miners, but maybe no or little locked jewel balance to fetch a premium for those. So keep and I've said the same thing I think on my podcast and in some articles about the same with your gardeners. You might not have a giant LP position, but there will be people who come to this game with giant LP positions and they do not want to grind a hero till gardening level 10, especially when level 10 profession quests come out. So you might not have the funds that the whales have, but what a lot of us do have is time. And a lot of the whales may not have that. So that's one asset you can always leverage.
Good point. Pyth, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to speculate too much, except for I do think there is some truth to what Savage said. I mean, since the earlier comment on mining was made, profession, genes, etc., have been looked at and tweaked. So it's very possible that mining isn't exactly the same as it once was.
Did you
envisioned
just
to
pull an
be.
egg?
Did he?
No.
No.
That's
I'm sorry. I'm looking on my cell phone. I'm like, oh my god, he pulled an egg. Sorry.
Bro, you just gave me a heart attack. I don't like you anymore. And Drake, drop him from the whole. I got so excited. Oh my god.
man.
It looks like an egg from here. What's that on the top left of your screen?
Oh my god, bro.
That's a DFK tier.
Oh god, there's this deal
he's
on my
got a
screen
tier, some
covering it up.
weird,
I can only
some
see
weird.
like the corner. Sorry about that. Carry on.
Oh my god, I'm still in heart attack mode. Oh, I'm on X Games mode. Wow. All right, yeah, these are Gaia's tiers, sir. So anyways, talking about the whales that don't play the game, I'd like to introduce everyone to Hans. He's a whale that does not play the game because he cannot recognize a Gaia's tier. Wow.
Oh come on, that's a low blow. No, I do play this game quite a bit. But
No, he
yeah.
doesn't actually. I got you, Hans. He doesn't recognize it because all he pulls is eggs.
Yeah, all he pulls is eggs. He's just so used to it at this point, right?
He's just used to eggs. He's like, oh, another.
Oh,
egg.
another one? Oh god, not again.
Pyth, finish up, man. My bad. Well, not
Nah,
me,
no
but-
worries. I mean, speaking of eggs, I still haven't got one. I'm hoping to get one soon. Have y'all managed to quest one?
Dude, I didn't even know I
have my
had one. I
inventory,
checked my inventory and I had one. I was like, what the snap? Where did this come from? I was like, this is cool.
I have one, and I got it. I kind of queue my quests up the same as Flu, and I also actually just complete them the same. Like, I'll just stack up all the completed quests at the same time and just hit a complete quest on all of them, so I don't really see the rewards. And I went and looked at my inventory and saw one, so that was pretty awesome.
I'll do
the same
this
for
real
me.
quick. I'll show you the thing that I've been using lately to keep track of those quest rewards is like this DFK tracker.app. And you can actually see like what you got from each individual hero of yours. So you can actually do like, let's go to the second page. You can see some of the stuff that I did last night at like 2:00 in the morning. Oh, here's some right here. 26 minutes ago, completed gardening quests, and shows you exactly what you got.
Flu, is that one of the entries into that contest for
yes.
That's awesome. I was so looking forward to this because some of love you, Harmony, but that Blockchain Explorer, sometimes I just I don't know
Yeah, I
whether
think
it's me.
it's
It
kind of
seems like I'm missing transactions, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I received some money, I didn't know I received it. I sent, I didn't. I was like, where is this? But this tool seems to just catch everything. So I'm assuming it's just something with the front end. I mean, obviously it's there on the blockchain, but this tool, man, I really love this. I haven't double
drop
checked
that tool in
everything
the
to
chat,
see.
Flu, if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I haven't like went through and double checked everything to see if it's like lining up with Kingdom Watch and all that other stuff, but it looks pretty close. I mean, on the main page though, your assets, it doesn't include your lock balance, which is interesting because some people don't want to count that. Whereas if you're looking at like Kingdom Watch Personal, it's going to show your lock balance in your total. But I love how you can go into each section. You can download a CSV. It doesn't have a section for heroes yet, but I'm really looking forward to that because everything else in here, I mean, there's some lag, but this is like the best tool I've seen for this, like hands down, right? Maybe you've seen other submissions, but
it's cool. There's some other stuff that's kind of wild that's out there. Drake, you were talking about it earlier. I'm not
Yeah, the
going
auto
to
quester.
the auto quester. I have some
Twit.
staked in it, but I'm not going to shill it, and I'm not going to talk about it because I do not know the security of it yet. So
Yeah,
I don't
neither
want to.
do I.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I literally have a couple of heroes locked in there just so that I can get rugged before the rest of everyone. If that makes sense. But I have some friends looking into it. So yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Twit in the DFK Discord, he actually pointed that out to me. So if you guys catch him in the Discord, just be like, "Bruh, good find."
I have a comment on that. Actually, there is a package behind that's been published on GitHub where all that code is open source. Now, I don't know if that's been modified and used on that front end, and I've seen that site too. I have not tried it myself because honestly, it makes me pretty nervous. If someone was a bad actor, they could. I mean, because to quest your heroes, you think about it, right? They have to approve transactions. They have to spend your tokens. So, if someone is out to do some harm, they can do some harm with that. But there is a GitHub source code you can look at if you want to and try to build something yourself. But also the last point on there is I have heard in conversations before I joined through other chats with devs and stuff that it was perhaps frowned upon to be auto questing. It's not explicitly against the rules, but it sounds like maybe Frisky and them are not super stoked about that. So
Frisky
has
never been a fan of bots.
RuneScape for botting.
Yeah, Frisky has never been a fan of botting. He's never been a fan of bots. I would not count on anything surviving long term that is using botting. But then again, I didn't think that the Bobo bot would survive for long, and it's still around. So, also, I did want to pull up something here, and I wanted to make a special note about this tool that I thought was absolutely incredible. This app actually shows historical data on how much you spent at the time. So like back whenever Tearsgate was going on, which if you remember Tearsgate, you're a real OG. This is whenever tiers were
I remember that.
$27 a piece. So this is actually a great example where the tiers that I used to summon this hero, which I think I actually gave that hero away that I summoned. But yeah, like here, you can see I've summoned 197 heroes. But then you saw earlier, you can see that my hero stack, I only have like 94 or 96 or something. So I've kept to my word over time of giving one away for every one that I've actually summoned for myself. So like a lot of this number is actually like DFK tiers.
That number's incorrect. It's supposed to say wrecked.
Yeah, it's supposed to just say you're destroyed. But no, like I just wanted to bring that up to people is that my DFK tiers are being calculated out at a cost of $10.41 on average. It will take a long, long time for me to average down from that because I summoned like 70 or 80 heroes during that Tearsgate period. So there's a lot of pages in here that you can scroll through and just be like in shock kind of at the amount that was spent on tiers, like 2280 there, 2280 there, 2280 there. Yeah, 2307 I'm gonna try to find some while y'all go on, but that's actually why I brought up this page, is to show like how much attention to detail and like the fact that they actually track like the historical Joule price. This is back whenever Joule was $7.27 and DFK tiers were, oh, this must have been right after Joule's Gate right here, because then they dropped down to 103. So
$103?
no, $1.03.
Oh, I was like, man, what in the world?
Yeah, it's kind of
You
crazy.
must have been summoning
But
some
then-
advanced or elite class, or not elite. Yeah, no. It's advanced and daggone it. Help me out. Is it advanced and elite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
advanced,
Advanced and elite, and then
then
exalted's the top. Yeah.
Exalted, yeah. But then if you see like a recent one, like this one that I did last night, for example, you can see that it was $1.65 in tiers and $1,200 in Joule for like a Gen 1 summon, and then got like this Gen 3 or whatever that I did right here. That was 46 Joule, and that was like $946. But yeah, if you count up all that, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 $4,000 last night on summons. I didn't really need to know this information.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
I feel the pain.
Oh my god. This is not good.
Well, we got to talk about some serious pain going on. It's been
Mhm.
going on like 2 or 3 weeks. This tavern, man, the RPC issues. You guys think it's time for private nodes on this?
I mean, I've actually set up a private node. I did like a test one for Poct. It's not, it doesn't solve every issue. But Frisky's been talking to me for some time about the potential of him actually setting up a node, like a full like paid Poct node and or Pocket node, and I don't know what the status is on that, but I know that it's in the back of his head, and it's been in the back of his head for a really long time. So I think that that's something that could resolve some issues at some point.
Yeah, you talked about it in the AMA this week about doing something with the not API. It's something basically reducing the amount of calls on the chain. So hopefully that'll help. I know, like on Spirit Swap on Phantom, they had the same issue, and whatever upgrade they did, it just makes it like compared to what it was, lightning fast. So I don't know. Definitely the RPCs are a lot like this morning, man. My computer was just like, it was a heater in my room with my computer, and I couldn't even quest with anyone. It was like so congested.
Yeah, it's like cold season for Harmony.
Yeah. Sandwich, Pyth, Hans, you guys got any thoughts?
About the RPC?
Yeah.
I mean, as always, there's no denying that it has been quite annoying at times. Juggling between Poct and the mainnet has helped a bit, but I'm hoping that with the increase in gas fees that they're supposed to push. When was it, Flu? Do you know when they said they were going to do it?
Which one? Sorry?
The increase in
gas
the
fees.
minimum GUI.
Oh my god, that's terrifying to me. It's Thun TM. Let me go pull up my screenshot that I have. Give me a second.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
when they do that, I'm hoping that it will stop, spam transactions. I know a lot of the volume is likely due to questing, but I'm pretty confident that there are a lot of transactions that the load will be lessened by that change, and I hope that eases the issues. And I do think that they really do realize, at least hopefully, what type of an issue the RPC currently is, so they focus more on making sure that is resolved.
Yeah, I don't know how many nerds we have in the audience, but it sounded to me like what's going on is not particularly with the RPC. It's more like with GraphQL that basically sits in between the blockchain and the front end. And so if you actually just pull the blockchain directly, you'll see that like the data is actually there, but the question is like getting it and translating it. And one of the things that they talked about in the AMA was, GraphQL, or they're calling it the graph. I believe that's the same thing as GraphQL.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, it was designed for, one block every 30 seconds. We've got a block every 2 seconds, and it's just hard to keep everything synced up. So they're moving to a different back end where they can do, no SQL. And, basically this data is not big enough that it won't fit in a database. And databases have been around for many, like 50 years. It's pretty much known how to quickly query a database, and they can scale. So that is the solution that is at least partially what they're working on, what they announced. Sounds like stopgap measures are coming through, and unless I heard incorrectly, it sounds like very soon, like potentially in the next week, they could start rolling out some of these changes. And they are API changes, but that's just how you communicate with it. So it's like now we can communicate better across chain. Now we've got a new we have a better API, a better backend, and it's all to more rapidly index and communicate with the blockchain. So instead of every time you want to know something, you have to query the blockchain. It's like you can have this caching layer, it's a layer in between there, and it's saving all this stuff. And when there's an update, you just change the cache layer. So you hit the cache layer instead of hitting the back end. I hope I didn't just nerd everybody out, but it sounds bullet from a technical perspective.
I dig it. I like it. So I guess TLDR on it is devs are working. So it's one of those things that sure, you can swap like the RPCs and whatnot. But really the main issue is like the APIs, because it's having too many calls, and they just need to condense those and have calls only where it's needed. So I think their upgrade on the API is definitely going to help, instead of having to query so much data at once. So now, we're seeing Flu doing all this questing and whatnot. When are we going to start seeing these new runes? Because these guys are starting to level up pretty quick. We're going to start needing the Moshika runes, and then, well, when are we getting new quests when we're getting these leveled up guys? It just seems like, level 0 quests are fun and all, but dude, the dopamine's not the same.
It's not the same. Like you've got to, it scales pretty slowly. Honestly, the XP scaling is pretty slow if you actually look at it in comparison to other games. It's not on like a log scale or anything like that. It's a very, very flat rate increase, but the quests are not scaling. So like the quests not scaling and the XP not scaling kind of like equals out. But I'm hoping for some scaled quests at some point. What I am wondering if they're going to do, though, is that with the scaled questing, if they're going to actually introduce that risk factor as well, which brings us back to full circle episode 1 of Nuts and Ham, which is, would you risk your heroes for more rewards? And my answer to that is yes. I have too many of them anyway, so let's go.
It's getting a little bit too real, because I was about to say, I would probably send my basic comments, but then I'm like, man, it's just like, why don't friends send friends to war?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I'm feeling a little conflicted here, but no way in heck I'm sending a Gen 0 through a portal where it could be destroyed. I don't care what the reward is.
Yeah, I don't care either. I'm not sending my Gen 0 through the portal. What's funny about it is that I don't think that I can actually send my Gen 0 through the portal, because these are locked now because of he who must not be named selling his. So like, I think it's funny, but I also, like, it's not really a joke. It changed a lot of things, but now I can't even like bridge my Gen 0 over to Avalanche, I don't think, if I wanted to, even if it was like risk free or anything. So like this old girl, she stays home. Her dad's not a Rolling Stone or anything, but she's gonna be on Harmony forever, pretty much. So yeah.
She got the blue hair
can send her
to
babies in the
match the
forest,
theme.
right? Go ahead.
Yeah, her babies
she got
can go out.
She got the blue hair to match the Harmony theme,
Yeah.
She looks pretty hot.
I designed her. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, it was good taste.
I gotta mention this though. I just kind of pulled up the gold price because I was looking at Flu's stacks, and I was like, geez, that's good stuff. I think people are really underestimating like the mining quest. Gold's sitting at like 2 cents a pop, and on average, sending out a guy mining, obviously depending on the stats and whatnot, they're pulling like 68. Well, let's just call it 60 gold for every pop. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean that's like $3 on each quest. And if you got a line of 6 going at it, that's $18. And then if you have 2 rotations and multiple guys, that's literally like $36-40 just for clicking buttons, and that's per day. A lot of people don't really calculate the APRs on that. I mean, and that's just at the price of gold at 2 cents. It's actually going up now. So, like, say for example, gold goes to 5 cents or 10 cents. I'm not saying that it's going to do that, guys. Please do not take this as financial advice. But what I'm trying to explain is I think people are underestimating the value of gold. Sure, you have to spend a bit for the hero up front. Let's just call it crunching out the numbers. Say just a regular common hero is going to set you back, I don't know, $600-700. If you're earning like $3-4 a day, you can basically pay for that hero in 3-4 months just on mining. That's not factoring in if you get an egg. If you get an egg, oh geez, you're set. So it's like, I think people are really underestimating the value of these quests. Am I wrong in saying this?
I don't think so, because I think that like I think that everything in these in like the inventory here, which I have pulled up, and like kind of giving people an idea on like how much gold that each one of these is worth for like long-term potential for the game. Like it's kind of insane. Like let's choose like a collection of silver fins here. Actually, let's go with something slightly less expensive. Let's go with like a shimmer scale here. And so we go to shimmer scale, we do maximum, and like that sells for 4,620 gold, right? And that's just like an average sort of thing. You choose
4,620 gold. What is that, like $80?
shoot, I don't have the thing pulled up right now, but
I'm pretty sure it's like $80.
yeah.
I don't know. It's something like $80.
Is it 2 cents? Is it 2 cents? per
Yeah,
gold?
2 cents.
Yeah, it's like $90.
$90. Yeah.
Here, I know that the tracker app will have it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
and
you're-
$90 might not sound like a lot to someone, but I mean, if you're having $90 per hero or getting that for a hero, it's like it's just math. I mean, you do it to scale towards the point of like, oh man, if I do this times 100 or times 200, I understand there's scaling. Like, there's only so many you can send on a quest. I mean, you can always just do multiple, and I mean, it's just a matter of time till bots come. I know Frisky doesn't like bots, but bots are just going to come, and then when they get shut down, there's going to be more bots that come. It's just the nature of the beast. That's how it works.
Yeah, it really is how it works. But yeah, the shimmer scale is $3.50 each. Silver fins $2 each. Sailfish $1 each. Red gills 30 cents each. Lantern eyes 10 cents each. And then gold is 2 cents each. So just as he was saying, like if you are heavily invested in gold, and gold used to be different. Gold used to be different. I actually bought this golden egg back whenever the gold to jewel pool was really, really new, and it was very, very cheap. And so I spent a long time with a lot of price impact and a lot of patience and several days worth of transactions to just swap over enough jewels into gold in order to buy that golden egg. And that's the last one that I wanted to do that with. I just really wanted a golden egg. I didn't know if it was limited time. I didn't know if it was like something that was only available for like a certain period, as I said before, in the exact same way, I guess, whatever. But like if a gray egg is right now at about $588.60, like what could a golden egg be worth, right? And something that I will say is that each one of these types of eggs, it's not like, okay, I have a gray pet egg that is definitely going to be a bat, or that is definitely going to be a hamster, or whatever. It has a pool of different pets that it could hatch from the most updated information that I can find. So like the green egg is going to be a different pool, the blue egg is going to be a different pool, the gray egg is going to be a different pool, and the gold egg is going to be a different pool. So It's going to be interesting, and you're probably going to want more than one of each. So I think that eggs are super bullish. I think that a lot of people that are pulling them now and then selling them, you're probably doing yourself a disservice.
And then there's me who simply can't get one.
Yeah, I can
Right.
only get one.
If you don't get one next week, man, I can't believe I'm saying this. You can have my green egg.
Nah. I should quest for it.
Question
just
them
hope,
up, man, please. I don't want to give it up. It's my only one.
I just hope I get one. You know, I've been trying. I know a lot of other people have, you know, been getting really unlucky. I know some people have like multiple, honestly. But who knows? Maybe my luck changes for the better when it comes to questing soon.
May the 4th be with you, right?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Absolutely.
All right, so kind of went over gold. Flu, you kind of hinted on the eggs. I'm kind of curious if the pets will actually. I wonder if they'll be able to do their own quests. Like, can they boost their stats to your hero?
Well, from what I
sure they
understand,
could,
they will help your heroes stat wise or in battle or whatever. They'll be a very important part of the PvE and PvP, from my understanding. So pets are going to be super bullish, in my opinion. I think there's going to be like a min-maxing game even around pets. I know that I have pushed for a long time for a variety of different partnerships with different projects and stuff regarding around pets. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I think that would be really cool. Like, say, if you could get pets from a different sort of project in here, that'd be really cool. Like, say, if there were like, I don't know, dragons, but they're a specific type of dragons, or like a specific type of horse or dog or cat. I don't know. Like the first thing that comes to my mind, and yet has no bearing on anything, and I'm just choosing a project that I have had no conversations with, so as to not give away any insider information. So this is not like alpha or anything, I promise you. You know how the Harmony punks have like the Harmony kittens? Like, if you had the kittens in game as NFTs as like pets, that'd be super cool. Like, that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. Like out of game NFTs being brought in as like in-game pets or items or whatever. I think that would be super cool. However, I will say that I am in no way saying that that is something that is coming, because I've never even received confirmation on it. So I think it would be cool though.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to add this in, because I mean, I know a lot of people were talking about like the items, quests, don't really know what to do. And I kind of saw the questions above, like, hey, I'm new to this. A lot of people are watching this AMA and they're like, Jewel, Hero, which one should I don't even have any. I don't even get a choice. I got 1,000 USDC or even 100 USDC. Where do I start? What do I do? You guys got any recommendations on that?
I mean, like, I would say, like, just get into the LP. Like, that's one of the easiest guaranteed returns on your investment that you could possibly do. And like, the heroes are not for everyone at this price. And like, we're working on the the barriers to entry, but it's going to take time. And I would say that right now the easiest thing for you to do in order to make like easy sort of passive income here in DFK is to just take advantage of the gardens. So
Okay.
also, someone says, I wonder if the DFK pets will be the CryptoPunks of Harmony. I would say that the Gen Zeros for DFK are the CryptoPunks of Harmony, considering that the floor on those is still something to the effect of $60,000 USD. So I think those are the CryptoPunks of Harmony quite easily.
Sandwich, Pyth, Hans, you guys got thoughts?
On starting?
Yeah, so Flu, just wink twice if the yellow egg hatches into Pikachu, and we won't tell anyone that it's a Pokemon partnership.
You know what's funny about that is that I actually met a dude earlier who is friends with the holders of the Pokemon IP, and they apparently want to get into NFTs, and I am having some conversations with them, not specific to DFK, but like, yeah, there's some
Enough said.
conversations happening.
Enough said. Yeah, in regards to questing rewards, I think if you're a long-term, like, I don't know, I think some people come to this game and they're like, I'm going to make a quick buck. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I mean, that's the thing, is this game doesn't tell you what to do. I mean, I'm in it because I'm like, this is awesome. I want to be in it long-term. I think I'm going to make some money, but I'm also in it because it's fun. But with that being said, when I look at these quest rewards and it's like, okay, well, your fish is worth 5 cents or 20 cents, or the egg is worth whatever. Right now you can't even do anything with that, really. You can sell it for gold, but what? I mean, we know there's going to be equipment. Equipment's coming. There's an amulet drop going on right now. We know there's alchemy coming. All this stuff is going to be needed to do stuff. So the current price is just what people are speculating on, what they can get for it right now. But we have no idea what that functionality is. And so since I'm in general bullish on this game, I think it's going to be something really cool. And so, I'm just stacking up my items. And so that income stream from the heroes might seem low right now, but, the jewel price and all that stuff was low earlier, and that went up. So I think you could see a general appreciation across a lot of these assets, especially in some of the higher level equipment. We talked earlier about having one hero that's really good at mining or whatever. Later on, you're going to have PvP guilds competing, and it's going to be, okay, well, who is the best character for PvP in this one instance? It's probably going to be some mythic, Dread Knight that's equipped with all these incredible items. But, who's going to make those items? Where are they going to come from? There's going to be probably a really high demand for some of these items in the future. And so, yeah, I mean, in addition to wanting to actually try out crafting and try out alchemy, I think these quest rewards are probably undervalued in general. So we'll see. But, it hasn't been announced yet exactly how alchemy is going to work or exactly how crafting is going to work. But you may need to equip your heroes with, a necklace and a helmet and a sword and a shield. And it's like, where's that going to come from? Maybe someone's crafting all that stuff. Maybe you need iron scales and rock root and, all that stuff to make the armor. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm hanging on.
That's a good point. Pyth, you got any thoughts? I know you're kind of asking in the beginning about the question.
Oh yeah, just in general on starting. Is that what you're
Yeah, just in general, starting like by a hero, summon, quest.
I mean,
etc.
personally, I like as others have said, it really depends on the amount you're investing. I think if you have very little, I think as Flu mentioned, just putting it in the LP or something else might be good for you. If you have enough, personally, I'd get at least one hero so you can experience and try questing, even if that's not for you in the end, even if you're not summoning. But I definitely think that at least putting a bit into the LP is always great. If you want and you just want to bank on Jewel going up without getting the sweet APR, then you can bank it, of course. But if you have a slightly bigger investment, then getting one hero and putting the rest in the LP is probably a great way to experience most of what the game has to offer without that large of a initial investment.
Okay. Sandwich?
Yeah, I would echo a lot of that. My go-to advice, non-financial advice, is to just, especially while you're learning, throw it in the pools, start earning some APR. In the chat here, Aaron Fleming asks, how will new players see an ROI from a hero? It's kind of hard to see right now, and I would definitely wait. I mean, I'm personally waiting, and I'm not advising people to buy right now while I don't even know if people can buy I've seen the same floor price hero on there for like 3 days, and he's not actually listed. So, I guess people might be like clicking through 60 heroes and seeing which one is actually still for sale. But until that's resolved, throw it in the garden, start earning some APR, and just remember that if you do buy hero, this is my view. We're we're still in like a pretty speculative area. We're waiting for combat quest. Flu mentions if you don't have big LP positions or a locked balance, gardening and mining probably not yielding very much for you. So you're looking at like fishing and foraging. And with a floor fisher and forager, I'd have to I think there's some Twitter community members who are like doing the math and like tracking this, but I think it's going to take it would take a while to like get a complete 100% ROI on your hero. So I would just remember that the game is still very much so in development, and there's a lot more to come in terms of questing, what heroes are going to be able to do. Maybe the ROI on these is going to change dramatically once we see potions and stamina potions, and we can start actually using those materials. So in the meantime, my non-financial advice is throw it in the gardens and learn more about the game, learn more about how heroes work.
One other thing is if you're a new player and you're putting money into the gardens, remember there is a withdrawal fee if you decide I'm going to go to the gardens and you want to take it out the next day and buy your hero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that fee is very large at first, and that's to keep people from doing like flash loan attacks. And they also want to incentivize you to stick around. So if you put money in the gardens, after about a month, it drops to 0.01% withdrawal fee, so essentially nothing. But if you try to take it out right away, there will be a fee. So just a heads up there. Put it in there, take your time, read some articles. But if you want to be able to take your money out right away without having to worry about it, you can put it in the bank, and still earn a little bit of interest there, but there's no fee for, there's no like slashing fee on there.
Yeah, everything's unlocked in the bank. I was one of the original proponents of Bank Chad, was what people jokingly named me, but like I was one of the original proponents of the bank because I was very bullish on like completely unlocked rewards, and I got into the bank before the ratio started to go up. So like my ratio went up kind of in an insane way, and like that's another thing that I was tracking through that app the other day, DFK Tracker. It actually shows you how much you've earned over time in the bank, and mine's kind of insane. That's actually something that I'm if anyone's curious, I mean my address is reasonably public. You could always go look it up. But it's kind of crazy, but it's not increasing that much anymore. But I would say that with new things that are coming out, we've always found ways to reward people that are staking in the bank, not only with airdrops, but also with sharing other sorts of in-game transactions and I would say monetary just flow. So I would say like the bank is never a bad place to be, ever.
Yeah, I want to branch off with that. Just kind of explain my thoughts. First off, I want to explain it and start it like this. I know a lot of people are in here like, hey, I want to make gains. I want to make money. But okay, great. You made the money. Now what? I look at DeFi Kingdoms as a social experience. I mean, I have the ability to be able to talk with and talk alpha with some guys I actually like to talk alpha with. Like this is something I actually look forward to. So I don't look at it like, great, you're making money. It's a lot of fun. But I look at it as like a social experience, and it's not always about the money. I mean, I understand some people are like, am I early? Am I late? Frisky already told us the team is going to reward the users playing the game. It's not saying you need to LP. It's not saying you need to deposit in the bank. It's not saying you need to quest. Try a little bit of each of it. See what you want to do. I mean, not financial advice, but what you can do is throw a little bit in the gardens and try to put a little bit of money together to buy maybe like, I don't know, a Generation 6, Generation 7 hero. Just scrape the bottom. And if you don't find any, don't chase after prices or chase after whatever hero you want. Don't fall in love with it. Spend some time, wait in the gardens, earn some jewel, and then when that hero comes, buy it. Not financial advice, but you can take that hero, throw it in questing, get it to earn you something. And what if you get an egg? Then it pays for the hero. Wait, now you can get more jewel with that egg. Wait, now you can throw more in the gardens. Wait, whoa. Now you're that person who's on the stream when someone's asking, like, what do I do now? You can be like, bro, it's a social experience. Drake told me it's not about the money, and I did what he said, and it finally worked. And it's not about the social experience, but I ended up making money. When you try to go into something making the money, you aren't going to make the money. I mean, sure, you may make the money, but the reason why I explain this, like you most likely aren't going to make the money, is because let's use a couple of examples. Why did some people buy some altcoins back in 2017 that were, like going to be the next big thing? Or, yeah, I make 100x gains. Well, it's because they stopped making money. And then, well, when they stopped making money, they give up. But Ethereum was like, bro, we need to rebuild what we're going to do. We need to create a better blockchain. We want to be able to create a blockchain where dApps can run off of. That's why Ethereum is still here. They built a community. That's what DeFi Kingdoms is building. That's why I'm here. That's why I like this, because they're building a community. Remember, invest in people, not Ponzi's. So just like I was playing in RuneScape, I'm sure a couple of other people played similar games. Find your niche, be the best at it, be the guy who's got that steel armor while that other guy's got a wooden sword, and be able to flex and be like, bro, I got a steel armor while you got a wooden sword, while that guy with the Santa hat in the wilderness is just laughing at you like, bro, you want to come try me? Just kind of play around with it. Just look for a social experience. That's what I see about it.
Let me say
Go
one
ahead.
thing on that real quick, actually, is that just like you were saying that getting involved with it for the experience. Whoa. Wow. That was a really good.
That's a good spin right there.
That was wow. That was really good. It just not only did it do everything.
Oh, plus
except
3 decks.
with
Dang.
Oh,
plus three
dang.
decks. Oh, wow.
That's pretty good, man.
That's pretty cool, man. That's
10 is great. I feel like I've been hitting like 4 on average.
yeah.
It's pretty bad.
That's been about my average. You could pull the on chain for that. Anyway, but like getting involved with the game as a game rather than a Ponzi, rather than a short-term investment or whatever, is so important. I was on a meeting today with some friends of mine that are heavy into crypto here on Harmony, and one guy specifically, and he's gonna hate me for calling him out on stream for this. I'm not gonna drop his name, but Pyth, you were there. You remember?
Yeah.
He sold Jewel at, I think it was under $1, right?
Yeah, it was under.
It was under $1. He bought in really early, like just as early as I did, but he sold 300,000 Jewel under $1.
That feels bad.
He
That
feels
feels
good.
real bad.
And like, it is one of the largest regrets of his life at this point. And the way that you win is not through micro gains like that. Like, yeah, he like 3x'd or whatever. He 4x'd maybe. He may have even 5x'd, but he didn't win. He did not win. I won. I stuck around. I played the game. I introduced myself into the community and became part of the community and became part of the team and the project, and worked my ass off butt off to like get ahead. And like, that's what it's about, is like taking those big risks. Sometimes it's not about coming up with like the most money that you can in like a couple of months or something. It's about like long-term sort of success of the project and stuff. Anyway, that's all I had. That was my
Yeah, they
soapbox.
say it's about time in the market, not timing the market.
Because you're never gonna time it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sandwich.
I was just saying amen to that. I'm always preaching to my friends, like, it's about time in the market, not timing the market.
I mean, now talking about that though, right? Like if you make insane gains and you take profit, and it keeps on running, of course, you probably regret selling, like without a doubt. But at the same time, like you really shouldn't dwell on it for too long, because you know you've kind of you had like, opportunities aren't just like a one-time thing, like there's going to be other opportunities in your life, and if you kind of miss all of the other ones that come along just because of one thing that you missed out on, or not that you did miss out, right? Like, there's still so much more to come, but it's something that you should try to avoid doing, right? Like, don't dwell on the past too much.
Yeah, take it as a learning experience. That's the biggest thing to do.
Yeah,
Sandwich, if you got to sign off, I know you're crunched
yeah,
on
I gotta
time.
go,
You told
guys.
me.
Thanks a ton. This was fun.
Sandwich,
I'll catch you
appreciate
guys on
you
the next
jumping
one.
on.
I'm actually late for another meeting too, so I gotta hop off.
All right, 10-4. Pies
See you
Flu,
guys.
I guess we'll
See you
leave the
guys.
last one with you. Is what's one piece of alpha you can give us before we close?
I'm gonna give you some alpha. Everyone on the
Whoa,
chat
whoa,
and
I'm gonna
everything.
stay for this one.
Oh, let's
Ooh.
go.
Oh well, I mean, it wouldn't apply to
Not
you.
that I have
you
any to
stick
share,
around.
but I want to hear what Flu's got to say.
I would say that this is gonna sound really lame now. You've hyped it up too much, but there's actually a stream going on right after this at 9 p.m. Central. So in like 32 minutes, we're doing a Twitter space. So just everyone kind of stick around for that. I think they're giving away some jewel on that. So I think that if anyone's new to the game, especially getting a chance to get like some straight jewel is always a good. It's always a good opportunity. So that's kind of what I was gonna say. So it's more alpha for people in the chat than it is for you, Mr. Whale Sandwich Punch. But
Yeah.
you
Whoa.
should be good.
Whoa.
Another-
Jewel, 10 jewel, 100 jewel, being a whale, it doesn't matter. Jewel is jewel.
Yeah, I mean,
Jewel.
It's a
one thing
game,
I
a
can
measurement.
one thing I can recommend is I know that a lot of people, especially considering how much time I'm in chat, they're really looking for giveaways, and especially as someone who's new to something, it can really help boost your stack. I mean, believe it or not, actually, when I came here, I think it was in the first, like at end of the first week or second week or something, I actually won one of the DFK giveaways too, and it really did help. But like, the point that I'm trying to make here is that one thing I definitely recommend. Not only will you find a lot of other information, like for example, Sandwich Punch on Twitter is posting these like really great articles and takes on various things in DFK, and it can really help you get ahead of the curve, right? And as a result, most of the time you will profit. And not only that, right? Like if you explore the community, not just in Discord, not just in game, but also on Twitter and other social media spaces, you're bound to find giveaways where there's less participation, right? Like on the Discord, I think the most recent one, there were like 12,000 reactions, and of course there's a chance of winning, but it's not as high as it is for those on Twitter that less people see, with like maybe like 1,000 people or even lower. So really go out there and explore, and you might find some information out there that not many people know, and really helps you get ahead, and yeah, just give you an all-out advantage.
Yeah, I'll add one quick thing on that. So I posted like my top 10 tips for beginners. That's a Medium article, but one of my last tip was like to follow a bunch of different people on Twitter, and I listed a bunch. But you should find all of the bards and follow them all, because frequently they're all doing giveaways. So and not.
Let me go check to see if I'm on there right now.
Yeah, if you're not, let me know. And
Let's
that's
see.
a huge mistake on my end.
Which is the one you posted? Is the recent post?
No, it was a little while ago, a couple weeks ago. But follow all the bards. Bards are frequently doing giveaways. I'm trying, every time there is a giveaway, I try to retweet it and just let people know about it. Including the ones in the DeFi Kingdom Discord server. Also, guys, like I would, if you like just hearing more about DeFi Kingdoms and just like hearing what some people are really invested in the game, or just really have learned a lot about the game, or how they're thinking about issues, you should definitely listen to Jewelcast. They're a podcast. They're here in the chat too. Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, which is Raph and Neindorf, and I think it's
And
Waltman.
your cast.
They can be found on Spotify, and then I also do a podcast with Baby Punch and Bloater Punch on Sundays. So and all of them, I listen to all of them. They're all great. Everyone's talking about some really cool stuff. So if you want to learn more, definitely check all those out.
Yeah, just get in the cast, get involved, and that's also a caveat of someone who doesn't really know where to get started. I mean, the giveaways are a good way to get started. I know some people got mythic heroes off of them, like literally, like
I've
just
given away
given to them
mythic
for free.
heroes. Yeah,
I
I've given
mean,
away a couple
that's
mythics.
crazy.
Yeah.
But guys, hey, I appreciate you jumping on. Always love chatting alpha with you guys. You know how we close. We close them with a wisdom one-liner. We in Proverbs chapter 21, verses 23. Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. You don't know what calamity is. It just basically means bad things. There's a reason you guys got 2 ears and one mouth. Make sure you use those ears more than your mouth. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Always love chatting alpha with you guys. Always appreciate everyone jumping on the pod. See you guys in the next one.